brother Joe. So I had this dream last night. It was kind of crazy, but I believe it's prophetic. Um, Marcus was riding his bike. You were riding your bike. Mitchell was riding his bike, and it was this course. It was a really weird course. It started like you had to start at like the top of the course, and well, no, I think you had to keep on. It was a high course. So it was like levels of a course, and the edges of the course were not smooth edges. So when it's like almost like you're going up a spiral. But unlike a spiral, it wasn't like a circular one where you just keep on going up and it was easy to kind of keep going up. But like when you came to the edge, it was almost like a rectangle, which made it very hard to turn. And my son was going, I don't know if he was going up the spiral or the down spiral, but he was at the edge. And at the edge, like I said, it wasn't an easy turn. And so he had hit the wall, and the way the wall was set, it was almost like a fence. It wasn't a full wall. He hit the fence, and he was hanging where he was like the fence had opened up. Uh, and so he had hit the fence. The impact of the fence caused him uh, to for the fence to be off the edge to the point where he could fall. And so he was trying to get his balance to kind of push off the fence so that he could get back onto the course and back onto the bike. But it was, of course, really scary because at the edge, there was just a long drop. And the drop was a big ocean, which could basically certainly mean death. So you saw him and you were like, hold up, I'm gonna help you. And so you immediately jumped off your bike and like there was the way you can go up or go up or down the spiral. There was like edges, and you decided you were going to jump from one point to the other point to try to climb to where he was at to save time to get over there quickly. Um, so you jumped from one point to the other point, and it was a very long jump. I mean, it was just unlikely that you were going to make the jump. But you had a helmet on, and you just decided, you just said, I'm gonna jump, just fearlessly, without hesitation, got to help him. You ran over there to jump to save him, and you didn't make the jump all the way because it was almost like an impossible jump. And you hit the edge, and then you started falling down the between the spot where the spiral was at. And so it was scary because, of course, if you don't fall straight down, then you're going to be hitting the sides and you would be dead. So you were falling down, and you indeed did hit the side, but you hit the side where your helmet was at, so it didn't kill you, but it was looking like from I'm looking at it from above and looked like, oh man, he's hitting it, and now that he hit one side, then your body was going to be flipping, of course, and that would, of course, increase the chance that you could damage yourself and die. And you had flipped like once, and then you hit the side, but you hit it like in the perfect angle where it hit your back and your head, but it didn't like make it so that your body was going to be um, in such an awkward position that you would be paralyzed or anything like that. And I almost thought you were going to stop and then be able to climb up, but you didn't. You fell, you continued to fall, and when you fell, you went straight down. You didn't hit any of the sides. So so as you were falling into the water, there were all these sea creatures that were in the water, and it looked like some of them were sharks, and then some of them were like jellyfish. Of course, jellyfish can be extremely dangerous. And there were other sea creatures. So you hit the water, and you were like, you didn't say like I'm okay. You didn't do anything like that, but you're like, all right, I'm all right, I'm all right, and and so you were like, you started kind of like laughing, like, man, this is crazy, and somebody else was yelling at you, Joe, get out the water, because they could see all the sea creatures floating down there waiting to try to get you. So it was definitely not a swimming pool area. I mean, this was like an ocean, but it was with a lot of sea creatures. So, in your attitude was kind of like, "I'm so sorry, man. That was crazy," you know. And the person who was talking to you was like, "Joe, hurry up and get out the water." So you were trying to swim towards the edge to get out the water, and these creatures were like trying to grab you. They're trying to pull you under, and I was afraid. I was like, "Man, if the shark get them, oh, that's gonna be crazy," you know. And so you were trying to get out the water, and the creatures were trying to jump on you, and so you were like pushed them off every time you tried to get out the water. They were and you were not close to the edge, so you weren't even close to being able to get out the water yet, but they were just on you. And this one creature jumped on you. You're beating it off, and then every time you try to reach to get out the water, another creature would try to jump on you. So you were like, "This is crazy. This is nuts." And when we're looking like, "Dude, get out the water. Quit commenting. Just get out." Um, and you were like, "These doggone fish, man, they drive me nuts." And your attitude was so much like even there was a lot of danger, and you knew that there was dangerous aspects, but you weren't panicking at all. So then one of this big old creature jumped on your head. I mean, it was covering like half your body. Like it couldn't, it wasn't like a whale that would just swallow you up. It would have to chomp on you. But it got on your body, and you were like, whatever. And your arms were still free. And so you just used this creature's on top of you, and you just said, you were tired of trying to do both things, you know, fight off the creatures and get out the water. So you just said, whatever, the creature on me, I can't see, let me feel around. And you got to the edge, and you climbed out the water, and then you fought the creature off, and part of the creature, I mean, you kind of like ripped up, you know. And you was like, "Man, this is crazy. Look at this, all this," and I was in amazement. I was like, "Wow." And you saw that Marcus was okay. Actually, um, he had gotten himself together, and then you went and after you took the creature off of you, you went and found him and my youngest son Mitchell, and and they were higher up, and you went. I think they were trying to get down because it wasn't making sense for them trying to get up. But you went and got them, and then you brought them down. You just basically, I mean, you didn't carry them or anything, but you showed them how to get down, and they got across the dangerous area. And I was amazed because I knew my son Mitchell was going to be really afraid of heights, and Mark's is going to be really afraid of heights too. He's very afraid of heights. But but you brought them to safety. Now, here's what I get from a dream. Um, your your ability to remain calm was a blessing. It was something that is not normal. It was supernatural. You were in an area where creatures it, were trying to hurt you. They were trying to damage you. And under most circumstances, from the vantage point that I could see, they would have killed someone else. Your willingness to be a blessing to my sons who are in need. I don't think that my sons represent my sons in the dream. I honestly, I think my sons represent your children in the dream. Your willingness to sacrifice um, immediately, without a second thought, it speaks to who God sees you, who God made you to be. Um, your willingness to just jump into the fray and to say, "I am going to be there to help." I believe that God put my sons in the dream so that I would have the emotional impact that I have. So the dream will have the emotional impact that it has on me as a parent. But I don't believe they represented my kids. I believe they represented your kids so that, but with my kids because it was going to have the impact on me and encourage me to put this video down for you. So uh, I would like for you to share this with your kids. But yeah, your willingness to jump in the fray because you love them and because you want to do whatever you need to do to help them in time of need, and your willingness to be in the middle of a dangerous situation and God's hand on you. It's not even just the peace that you seem to feel in the middle of all that. It was God's hand on you. It's like you knew that God had you. You knew that everything was okay, and those creatures were like demons, and you knew that even though that demonic presence was all around you, like a den of lions, that it was nothing for you to fear. Was it dangerous? Yeah, it was dangerous. I mean, were they? Could they have hurt you? Yes, they could have, but you did not walk in fear. And I believe that speaks to things that are up and coming. Maybe your children needing you, your kids being in a position where they're about to go over the cliff. They thought they were going to be okay, coming down the spiral. Unforeseen circumstances happen, and they were in danger and could indeed be killed. But you would lead, and you would lead by even putting yourself in danger and being willing to let God use you, so that you be in a position to not carry them, but to walk them through a course so they will be led to safety. There's so many aspects of it. I mean, you fail when you tried to help, but you didn't get hurt, and you falling put you in a position where a demonic presence was around you, but it didn't kill you. In fact, it was a testimony to your kids that you were going to be put in that type of danger, and and it was a testimony to God that you'll be willing to put yourself in that situation, and God was still loving you and caring about you enough to protect you. So have at it as you will, but that's what I believe the dream was. I believe that this was from God. Peace.